If I was to start my winter wardrobe from scratch, these are the first 10 things that I would buy. Hello and welcome back to my channel. I hope that you're doing really well and welcome to the first video of 2025. 2024 went so quickly and I felt like it made sense to start the year off with a video talking about resetting our wardrobe and making sure that we have the essentials for a very stylish winter. So without further ado, let's get into the 10 pieces that I would consider the most important in your winter wardrobe. First piece that you should absolutely 100% have in your wardrobe is a wool blazer. I feel like blazers work all year round regardless, but it really does just depend on the material that you have them in as to which part of the year you can wear them for. And I do feel like a wool one is so perfect for winter because not only is it super stylish, it's obviously very practical as well. I adore this one I picked up from Sinead Curie recently. It's in this beautiful cream colorway. It's super oversized, really tailored. It looks really luxe and I just feel like elevates any outfit that I pair it with. In terms of color, you don't necessarily have to go for a cream. You could opt for a black or a gray or anything that kind of calls to you, even like a chocolate brown. Like imagine a wool chocolate brown blazer. Oh, if you can't tell already, I'm a big fan of all things chocolate brown right now. But I just feel like these work so well to layer up just for wearing underneath your coats if it's really cold, but also in place of a jacket if you're layering up some thermals, maybe a roll neck. You don't necessarily need to layer a coat over the top because the wool blazers tend to keep a lot of warmth in too, which I think really does just help to break up all of the coats. However, speaking of coats, I think it is essential to have a tailored coat in your wardrobe. I would personally go for a long black tailored coat because it will serve you from day to evening, casual, dressed up. It's just an all-round completely timeless piece. The beautiful long line, super maxi, oversized tailored, it kind of gives me like YSL vibe, and that's the beauty of a long tailored maxi coat, is that they just make every look feel really finished, really polished, really put together. I could layer a loungewear tracksuit set underneath this and I would still look more put together versus if I was to pair it with, say, like a puffer jacket, whereas the tailored coat just fits every single look ever. I wear it in the evening with like mini dresses because the length of it keeps my legs warm as I'm getting from A to B. My top tip would be to go for full length. There are quite a few on the market that are a little bit more cropped and they kind of hit you mid-shin or knee. Personally think they look a little bit dated and I also feel like they crop you at a really weird point. And if I'm wearing things like maxi skirts, maxi dresses, or like tailored trousers, jeans, I really like it when my coat kind of hits the same length as those maxi pieces versus having like another layer where it's just cropping at such an awkward point and then the outfit just looks kind of awkward and not put together and polished and finished. So I definitely would make sure that it's a full maxi. I will forever die on the hill that a chunky knit in winter is one of the most important things you can put on your body just for pure comfort level. I just adore the feeling of being cocooned in a really soft knit. I try and stay away from like mohair and wool because I find them quite scratchy against my skin. However, this one I picked up from H&M recently is a cashmere blend. When I tell you it's so soft, so snuggly, it's a little bit higher up on like price point wise, but for quality and comfort and styling, I think it's definitely worth it 100%. Having just a classic black in your wardrobe would also work really well for a multitude of different looks, but you don't just have to stick to black. You could opt for something a little bit lighter. I know sometimes in winter we can feel like all of our looks are very monochrome. It's all black or dark grays or dark browns and it can feel really heavy, and you might want something that's just going to add a little bit of freshness to your winter looks. And I think maybe opting for like a cream or more of like a lighter neutral tone or even a colour if you're into colour. I also think an oversized option is perfect because you can obviously layer things underneath it if it is a little bit cooler. I also love how it looks over the top of these satin trousers that I paired with in the cutaway, but also with tailored trousers, jeans, skirt, slip skirts, short, the full works. There isn't really anything that this doesn't go with. And in the same realm, I love a cozy cardigan. I again feel like if you wear them done up, it kind of gives the illusion of a knitted jumper, that kind of same vibe, but also you have the option to layer up with like a little t-shirt underneath or a vest or some thermals, and then you kind of have a different look. You wear it open, maybe a couple of buttons done up and not all of them. I also think cardigans translate really nicely into kind of evening if you're going out for dinner or something, because depending on what kind of neckline you get, you can really play around with like flashing a bit of skin. Layering up your jewelry gives you space to play around and keep your looks feeling really interesting versus just like wearing the same thing on repeat and it feeling really repetitive for you. I adore the colorway of this one, a nice neutral cozy knit. Always looks really premium, really expensive, and And that's something about me. I like to make sure that even though I'm wearing basics, that they always have an element of elevation to them, a little bit more like classy premium vibes, even though they weren't necessarily like stupidly expensive. I don't know who I would be without a pair of tailored trousers in my wardrobe, and I don't think I will ever go a day in my life without having a pair in my wardrobe. I'm keeping these quite vague and giving you the option to decide what shape, what style, what color you would prefer. I'm obviously showing you what I personally think in terms of colorway. I think having a pair of cream tailored trousers in your wardrobe for winter specifically, it's like I said, kind of with the knitwear, if you opt for something that's a little bit more cream or neutral or has a bit more color or life to it, it can stop all of your winter outfits from feeling really heavy and really dark and really miserable, like the beautiful English weather that we are having. I'm over it. I miss the sun. Of course, you could opt for a pair of black tailored trousers, chocolate brown, taupe. There are so many different options out there for you. I will just give a quick shout out to my favorite style of tailored trouser, which are the Uniqlo pleated wide leg tailored trouser. I think that's what they're called. I'm pretty sure I have them in near enough every single colorway that they do. And I just think the shape, the fit, they're really high-waisted, they're really comfortable. The length of them are spot on, but Uniqlo offer a service where you can have them altered if you are a little bit more on the petite side, and I just think they are such a fantastic price point too. They're really affordable. They obviously work well for daytime, it obviously work well for like workwear, but I do like to balance a lot of my oversized pieces with something that's a bit more tailored, a bit more put together, a bit more polished, and it just helps keep the look really polished and really elevated while still being really comfortable too. I feel like in summer it's so easy to kind of play around with trousers, shorts, skirts, dresses. It kind of feels a lot easier, whereas in winter a lot of my looks definitely seem to revolve around trousers, jeans, kind of covering up. But one thing I always feel like we forget about is how fun and versatile it is to just throw a knitted dress into our winter wardrobe. Something that's pretty neutral and can be dressed up or down depending on what you want to wear it for. I think this dress from Dish is probably one of the best ones that I have in my wardrobe. It's one of those pieces that I think I will continue to own for a very, very long time. And I actually would really like to pick it up in a couple of other colors too. I know they do it in like a cream and a chocolate brown. But I just love the fact that it's like fully covered. You have this like beautiful crew neck neckline and kind of fluted sleeves, and like the pleating on the dress is really pretty and it swishes really nicely. And I love wearing it with like a knee-high boot or even a slingback sometimes if I want to really dress it up. And then it pairs really nicely with the maxi tailored coat as well. I just love, love, love it. I really like that the Dish ones give you that option to cinch the waist. Or they're just so flattering. I just absolutely love them. And you could go for something more of like a knit, like a chunkier knit. Like I have a couple from Pretty Lavish. They do some amazing knitted dresses. I feel like faux leather trousers have been on my winter capsule wardrobe must have for like 5-6 years, maybe even longer. No. Maybe. I love them. I think they are really timeless. I don't think they'll ever really go out of style. I think the shape that you choose can depend on like how trendy I guess they are. I really like just a classic straight kind of looser straight fit. These ones from Abercrombie, they sell them every single year. They always bring them back. They're always restocking them. I would highly, highly recommend. I think the quality of them is great. I love the fit, I love the shape, I love the length, and they also do petite and long if you need those, which I think is always very helpful. They add a layer of texture. With a lot of our winter looks, it can kind of be a knit and jeans or knit and tailored trousers, and I think it's kind of fun to play with knits and different textures with faux leather. I think the shininess of it adds an element of interest versus say a black pair of jeans. I also love the fact that they're wiped clean because I'm like the world's messiest person ever. So if I know I'm going out for dinner, I'm like, I'll wear some faux leather trousers because then I can wipe off anything I spill on myself. And again, they work really nicely for more casual looks, but also you can dress them up with heels and they just translate really nicely into evening too. I just don't think there will ever be a time when my winter/autumn wardrobe will not have a pair of faux leather trousers. We're on to the last 3, and the next one is probably the most obvious out of all of it, and it's a classic dark wash blue jean. Now, I love a light wash jean. There is a place for that in my wardrobe throughout winter as well. I think finding that perfect style of jean for you is probably up there with one of the most important things you can do for your wardrobe, because not only will you be able to have a pair of jeans that you can love and wear all year round for years and years to come, but you are going to feel great in them whatever the occasion, whenever you need to bring them out. I adore the Levi ribcage straight, and I have them in a couple of different colors now. I think they are the best fitting. I love a super high-waisted jean. I also love the fact that they are super flattering around the bum, no sagging. They go They kind of give you a little butt lift, which is great. And you can also pick what length you want in them too. They are like a perfect straight the whole way down the leg. If you haven't yet found your perfect pair of jeans, I definitely would highly recommend those. I think it's no secret at this point that I love all things maxi. I used to be such like a mini skirt, mini short, hated anything too long. Now I'm the complete opposite. I'd rather wear the maxi skirt. Love how streamlined and chic and elevated it looks, but also from a practicality perspective, they keep you warm. You can layer them up with thermals, you can wear tights underneath them, you are covered. There is no risk of you flashing anything to anyone. You'd really have to try hard to flash anyone in a maxi skirt, especially a tailored one, which is kind of what I would recommend if you're starting from scratch. They kind of serve the purpose of what a tailored trouser in black would do, but they kind of add an element of femininity and a bit of softness, and anything that you would wear tailored trousers with, swap them out and wear a tailored skirt with it, and you can just add this whole new look, but the vibe is still the same. It's still within your comfort zone if you're someone who does like to wear more tailored trousers and more covered up. But again, it just adds a little bit of something different. I really love pairing these the evening with like a slingback or a heeled boot with a blazer and just having a really chic vibe. It also just gives me like Saint Laurent, expensive, classy. That's the vibe I'm going for in 2025, in case that wasn't obvious. And sometimes I do really like a blazer belted with a maxi skirt. I feel like that is very chic. And then last but not least, the 10th piece that I feel like you have to have in your winter wardrobe if you were starting from scratch would be a fitted knit roll neck. They're a really great layering piece. Obviously they keep you warm, which is always great in winter, but I just really like, you can play with texture, you can play with color, you can get ones that are slightly sheerer, and you can play up with like a little bralette underneath and wear it for more like a little cheeky little date night, evening, dinner vibe, but layering it with blazers, your coats, knitwear, just such a classy wardrobe staple to have. Again, I think having it in black gonna serve you really well. I also love it in like a cream. Again, I just really like that whole layering aspect. Way of doing winter dressing well is to definitely think about your layers and think about where you're able to flash skin and where you're able to cover up, and I think the balance of those two things will give you such a chic and elevated winter look every single time. I adore this one I have from Lily Silk. This is a cashmere one, so again, slightly more on the premium side of price points, but H&M do some. I have a brown one that's wool blend from them, which is divine. I think it's about making sure you have those staples so that you're able to play around with them and give yourself a multitude of different looks in winter that you are going to be nice and toasty. So that was all 10 pieces that I would immediately buy if I was starting my wardrobe from scratch. Let me know if there's anything I've missed or if there's anything that you deem even more important than anything else I popped on this list. Let me know in the comments, and I will see you in my next one.